Welcome, come on in today to the Bridging Insider, and our guest is John. And John, how are you hoping that we can help you today?
Well, I had my right hip replaced, and my right leg is still weaker than my left one because I've been favoring the left one. And actually, if you look at my two calves, one's bigger.
So some muscle imbalance.
Yeah.
So I'm Kara Lindell. I'm the founder of the Bridging Institute and the Bridging Technique, where we use the physics of the body, which are the micro movements of how the body flows and transitions. We use those to see what is causing the pain or weakness, and then to put you back together again. So I'm going to have you just stand where you're at. I'm going to move you around just a little bit, just to see how that leg is working for you in the hip. Mm-hmm. And then we'll do the same thing sitting down and check a few other things laying down. Okay. So I'm just you don't have to help. Okay, so that's not too bad. The transition's smooth. And then I'm gonna do a little turn. Great. And the other way. Okay, so far so good. And we're gonna see forward and back. Okay, that one is not so smooth. You almost feel like you're gonna lose your balance.
Right.
Okay, so you told me that you're doing a lot of walking, but you're using the Nordic poles. So that makes a lot of sense because those poles are going to help you with your balance that way. So good choice.
Yeah.
Sit down. Okay, I want to just make sure the core is moving all these different ways so that we see good, and then turning, and then forward and back. Okay, it is. So lay down. So let's do some comparing between right and left leg. So I'm just going to lift. We're going to see if they match and how heavy they feel. Good, and don't help. Whoa, it's not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. Okay, so all the exercises and working that you've done, what you've done is gotten things to work, but the ease of it is missing, and that's partly why you're getting fatigued. So, okay, so does it even turn? I can get it to turn a little bit, not a whole lot. Feel how this one just wobbles back or wiggles back and forth. Okay, so I like that. Let's see about what's going on up here. Okay, so this moves a little bit more from left to right than right to left. That kind of doesn't move. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure what's going on up here. Super. Normally, I want to check and see how arms and legs are connecting into your core, but this one is so stiff and so heavy, I can't really move it. So we're not gonna check that right now, but we'll check it at the end. So knowing that you had, was it on the front?
Yes.
Okay, the new way. Okay, so I'm going to take this. Feel how squishy it is. Yeah, so we're going to use that as a support to where the incision, was it about here?
Yep.
Okay, we're just going to support that. Help all the muscles on both sides of because they pulled everything apart to put the new piece in. Just going to let it support it, get reacquainted. Figure out how to talk to each other again.
Oh.
It's kind of like we separated the kids, and now we have to teach them a new way of working together.
One thing is that I don't have any feeling on some of my skin.
Oh, the sensation. So they cut some nerves. Those will grow back.
Yeah, they said they didn't say they cut them, but they rearranged them.
Yeah. Well. They cut them and put them together, and they're not quite brand new.
Right.
So usually what we find is when we get the little tiny micro movements going, the little wiggles, it just helps everything grow back together and talk to each other again. There. So the whole side's starting to move better now. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see if I can even lift your leg. Okay. So let's see if this one does. Yeah, now they feel similar to each other. I am gonna put this one up, and let's get it moving just a little bit better, and then we're gonna try some things related to the stairs and some power.
Oh.
So just wanna make sure that we're getting some really nice movement, and then we'll put it to work. So what's pretty common with the joint replacements, whether it's a knee or a hip, is that you got compensating going on beforehand because it was bothering you and you weren't walking right, and so there's that, but then there's also just the whole procedure itself and what they cut apart and put back together, and then there's the compensating that you have while you're recovering.
Yes.
So there's a lot of room for parts to not work together all the way. There. Okay, let's see. Does it turn both ways? Not quite. And there we go. All right, so the other way that a leg has to move is up and down. That actually seems okay for just a tiny little toggle. So I'm going to get a bigger ball and we're going to look at a bigger motion. So, John, I'm going to put both legs up. And there we go. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Actually, I'm going to move it down a little bit. So I'm going to push from your feet, and hopefully your knees are going to bend. And it's funny, I can see the difference in muscle here versus here. Mm-hmm. And so I want a nice playful. So even though I'm rocking on the left and the right's the one that had the surgery, because it is supported here, it's still getting some motion too, and so is your core. And it's basically what we're doing is just doing some tutoring. Oh. Reminding the muscles of how they can work together. There. Okay, does that feel smooth from your end?
Yes.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to push up so that everything's bent, and then you're going to push back toward me. Great. We're going to do that 3 times. So push, that's 2, and third one. Good, because this one felt like it was getting stronger each time we did that. Good. Okay, then I'm going to look for something very specific. So we're going to bend. I'm going to hold this behind your hamstrings. And I know this is not the one with the surgery, but I just want this one as a comparison. So I want you to push out, and I'm going to see how strong that is. Very good. And let's see what this one does. Okay, so push out. So it feels a little wobbly and shaky, doesn't it? Okay, so we're going to it's a very specific job of getting the hamstrings and the quads to match up. They have to work as a team.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to push again. Great. And what I'm doing with this is kind of giving them a little help. So, okay, push again. Great. So what I'm noticing, it's like the inner side, not the outer side that's struggling. So push again. And let's just do a couple more times. And one more. Okay, I'm going to move a little bit so that got a better angle to make this harder for you. Okay, so now push. Okay, because I made that quite a bit harder.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was smooth and powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I am guessing that you at home might be able to see the activation that he's got through here, and I'm guessing that has changed. So, okay, let's see. That one moves nicely. This one moves nicely. Okay, we're going to check one other thing on how they both relate to your core. So I am going to roll your legs, and your core hopefully is going to follow. And we're not going to get crazy where you're going to roll off. There's right and left. Very good. Does that feel the same each way?
It feels a little tighter in this side.
Okay, then we need to. So I'm going to grab a different one. So we're going to, when I go to the side or when I go to the left?
This side.
Okay, so we're just going to, it's a little bit bigger range of motion. There we go. Do you feel it now?
Yeah.
It's better?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, and you can see the movement in your core is bigger too. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this. Just throw it all around, and I'm going to grab an arm and a leg and see if I can lift it. So this is what I couldn't do before.
Oh.
So I'm going to roll you a little bit toward me. Yay! Because I want to make sure that everything, arms, legs, core, are all centered and matching.
Oh.
So I'm going to do the other side. And pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sit up. Okay, let's just see. Are you moving more smoothly? Whoa, you're moving a whole lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hardly have to
good.
touch. You're just like, woo. Okay, the hard one before was forward and back. And that is smoother and pretty steady. So, okay. So just to summarize, everything at the hip that got thrown off from the surgery, it's, it's knitted together, but it doesn't really know how to work together again. So what we did is I took it through very specific jobs, and each of those jobs have different teams, and help the teams remember how to play again.
Oh.
So they're good. It'll just, you don't have to do anything in particular for it. Just go do all your walking, do your exercises. And love to have you come back again, and we're going to check more ways that the hip should work, and maybe check some of the balance, just to make sure balance is good.
Oh.
Okay?
Terrific.
For those of you at home, this one may have seemed a little simple, and compared to some of our other episodes, it was, but the specificity of how the hip replacement was impacting him is really nice for you to see that just one thing can have some pretty broad effects, and it can change pretty quickly. And this is what we teach in our courses, and you can see that information in the show notes. Give us a like on this episode and subscribe to our channel so that you can get the latest episodes. Thanks, and see you next time. Thank you.
Why, thank you too.